This is Channel 5 News in the headlines. Dominica Manufacturers Association eyes August 2018 as date to fully utilize a $15 million loan facility. Lack of development statistics, a major concern for the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and renewed focus and new suggestions for addressing the crime situation on the island. I am Idona John Baptist with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this. Welcome back. News begins with this item that the Dominica Manufacturers Association expects that manufacturers will use up funds under a $15 million special loans facility by August 2018. Manufacturers will have to meet aid bank's requirements to qualify for funds under that loan facility at an interest rate of 3%. President of the Manufacturers Association, Severin Mackenzie, told Channel 5 News they will attempt to have further discussions with government and the aid bank to determine the conditions for the loan.
From the manufacturer's point of view is, come next year, August, we want to see all what has been allocated for the manufacturing sector to be accessed and in use. And because in our proposal to government, we in fact made an offer that, or promise that if a facility is made available to the manufacturing sector, within a year, we could see the creation of about close to 400 new jobs. And one of the things about jobs in manufacturing, they are usually sustainable. Jobs that people are continue going to every day, and it's jobs that people always have for a lifetime.
The Manufacturers Association would also like to work with the Ministry of Agriculture to boost the export potential of the manufacturing sector.
One of our biggest constraints, though, is the lack of, or the scarcity of raw materials. And we are very much concerned because there are a number of products that we could actually identify that are in very high demand on the market, but the volume of raw materials available on the market is of course for concern because it creates a certain amount of limitation to the production part of it.
Coconut and passion fruit are top crops in high demand by manufacturers, and their low supply has been a setback to their trade.
There is a high demand for virgin coconut oil. And we have, the last count, maybe about 7, maybe up to 7 small producers of virgin coconut oil. And then we are getting requests both here, both locally and overseas, for the supply of virgin coconut oil. And people are talking about container loads of virgin coconut oil. So this is one of the areas that we want to look at. What can be done with the virgin coconut oil industry, and how we can beef it up. There is another one, even passion fruit. Another problem with the supply of passion fruit so that we can provide, passion fruit syrup. There is a guy who is into potato flour. Just in Guadeloupe, there is another high demand for it. So we are looking, we would really like to collaborate with the Ministry of Agriculture to see what can be done in terms of producing the raw material for processing.
In other top stories, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank says it expects stronger partnerships with member countries in the area of providing development statistics to the general public. Governor of the Central Bank, Timothy Antoine, shared those sentiments when he addressed the launch of the ECCB's new website on Wednesday. Key features of the website include sections on regional statistics, both proposed and enacted legislation, and other related literature for all who access the site.
And I make a plug at this point for even stronger partnership with our countries as it pertains to statistics. That's a challenge in the region. We have seen some progress, but clearly from where we sit, we know that there's a long way to go. Not just to produce statistics that we can share with the public, but frankly to help inform decision making. So monthly, and we hope to keep building the standard of statistics across the region. The launch of our new website marks a significant milestone in our relentless pursuit of delivering exceptional service to the people of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Strategically, our new website is a tangible expression of our commitment to enhance organizational effectiveness. Furthermore, it is a celebration of our STAR mantra, which stands for service excellence, teamwork and truth-telling, accountability and results. Ladies and gentlemen, in days of old, it was conventional wisdom for central banks to do much but say little. Today, central banks worldwide are required to be more transparent and accountable to their various publics. Those old days are gone.
Chicago-based criminologist and sociologist Dr. Peter Seja says a documented proposal to the authorities 6 years ago for addressing criminality would still apply to the current trends in crime on island. As a criminologist, Dr. Seja looks at the scientific study of the causes, consequences, and solutions to problems of crime and violence in society. In 2011, he submitted his proposal for maintaining and improving peaceful Dominica to the authorities. It touches on issues such as various trends of crime on island, recommendations, and a budget for implementing strategies and a disbursement schedule. Dr. Seja was speaking to Channel 5 News in the context of the current rate of crime on island. He says to be able to plan the way forward to addressing crime, there has to be a good study on the key factors that drive issues relevant to crime.
I've made recommendations to the government. The proposal is there for you to read. And it speaks clearly that even if it was written in 2011 or so, the situations are basically the same. I've met with the police chief. Maybe I may meet to the Minister of National Security. Hopefully I speak with him. I just met with a high-level Minister of Government. I have used my resources and the resources of a few sponsors to develop some of the things that I recommended to the Prime Minister should be done to promote a peaceful nature isle. So just so you understand, what I told the Prime Minister in 2011 through the proposal that you'll read is that we ought not just wait for a murder to happen and respond to murder, to a murder. We need to invest in a peaceful nature isle. We need to sell peace in Dominica. We need to be ahead of the curve. Well, Chicago is picking up on this, and we have set up the world's first peace business incubator after many years of trying here, because I would like to see Dominica be the first place to have done this.
The Trafalgar native who attained his PhD from the University of Chicago Department of Sociology in 2002 said he has been doing his own private work with communities on island.
If we can just keep focusing on responding to violence, we're actually giving life to those types of issues. So what I suggested in the Peaceful Dominica proposal is to develop infrastructure on individual levels and family levels and community levels to have a consistent database of clearinghouse that we can have a sense of what's going on in different places at different times, and where we can have like a peace czar, somebody who is primarily responsible to monitoring, maintaining issues that are relevant to peace and peacefulness across the nation. When the time will come for that to be taken as something seriously, I don't know, that's not my call. Meanwhile, what I've been doing is working with young persons in terms of teaching them peace intelligence and teaching them peace efficacy with our program Better Me, Better You.
He says he is interested in working with any group or administration for a better Dominica.
What I'm interested in is how do we come together, regardless of who we are. I'm a social scientist, so I don't have a red color, I don't have a blue color, I don't have a green color, I don't have a yellow color, because I'm here to work with everybody. I do not vote in Dominica, I'm not proud of it, but whichever government you give me, I will work with that government so we can have a better Dominica. So whatever reason it is that the recommendations that I've made have not really, and the consequences have been seen. Whatever reasons that they are where they are, That is something for the persons who are responsible to collaborate to make them happen to answer.
Still on the topic of crime, there will be a renewed vigor in tackling of illegal firearms and drugs in the country, as that continues to be a priority focus for the Ministry of National Security. During his presentation in the budget debate earlier this week, Minister for National Security Reuben Blackmore said the ministry is committed to reducing illegal incidents in Dominica.
My concern, and concern for most of us ministers for national security within the CARICOM catchment, is the issue of illegal guns and cocaine. What we have in, Madam Speaker, is a serious cross-fertilization of crime. Because the criminals who deal in illegal firearms are the same folks who deal in the trafficking of cocaine. And once you have illegal firearms, you have shooting, which may result in killing. In 2015, Madam Speaker, in 2016, the police took off the street 44 illegal firearms and 1,137 rounds of ammunition, Madam Speaker, as compared to 26 and 347 for the previous year. It tells you that there are many illegal guns on the street. Having said that, through the request of the Minister for National Security, the police has presented a plan to rid the street of illegal firearms.
Blackmore went on to explain that plans are in place to better equip the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force to carry out their duties efficiently.
For this new financial year, drawing from what I just spoke about on the Asset Forfeiture Fund, pending the approval of the Minister of Finance, we shall make available 11 additional vehicles for the police, Madam Speaker. And we have started the process of designing a new building, Madam Speaker, in Roseau to house a minimum of 200 police officers. And we shall reconstruct the existing building in Roseau, Madam Speaker, for the police officers. For the year under review, the two main barracks at Mumbras were totally refurbished. We have started the design, and there's money in the estimate for the construction of a new building to house the training school.
The minister reiterated the need for police and residents to work hand in hand in reducing incidents of crime.
The police has to continue, will continue to embark on an effective community policing program. There has to be this concert between the public and the police for the express purpose of reducing and preventing crime. And we have been able to put in place a bike unit of 14 men so that we can place more emphasis on the enforcement of our traffic regulation, Madam Speaker. There are too many what they call scooters posing a nuisance on this road and causing a danger to public safety, Madam Speaker. And that issue has to be dealt with frontally, Madam Speaker.
Currently, the vetting process has begun for a new group of individuals to be trained to join the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force. You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, we hear from Dominica's representative at the first ever Caribbean Queen Calypso competition. That and more when we return. Thank you for staying with us. Member of Parliament for the Riviera-Zurich constituency, Ivor Stevenson, is reportedly making good progress since becoming critically ill at the end of May. Andrea Louis has more.
Stevenson took ill on 27th May and was airlifted to Martinique. Since then, he continues to receive medical attention at a Martinique hospital. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit told Parliament on Tuesday that he paid a recent visit to his colleague.
He has made considerable progress, considering everything. He's alert. He could have recognized us. He could say my name and Honorable Douglas and McIntyre. I also brought his brother with me. He is going through therapy, both speech and physical therapy. He's able to stand, not having the full strength of his right leg yet, but he could stand and hold onto the railing and walk, So we continue to pray for him. We continue to provide all the support to him morally and otherwise.
Skerritt said he will take on the responsibility of parliamentary representative in Stevenson's absence, while Member of Parliament for La Plaine constituency, Peter Serja, will serve as his deputy. The Prime Minister said Stevenson was soft-spoken but very committed to his constituents, and work he started in the constituency will continue.
So we'll continue to work with the people to ensure that they continue to get the good representation which Ivor Stevenson provided to him when he was good. So we look forward to his full recovery, where he can report back to duty and be in the front line of continuing to assist the people, Madam Speaker.
On to an entertainment item. Dominica's three-time female calypso monarch is describing her experience at the first ever Caribbean female calypso monarch competition as unique. 19-year-old Janet Jackson took part in the Caribbean Calypso Queen competition in Nevis as part of their cultural activities on Monday.
I personally went out there and tried my best. It was under tough circumstances. It was not the normal standard of calypso that I was accustomed to in Dominica, when you have the 50-carat gold swinging stars playing for you and that kind of a thing. But at the end of the day, you have to make the best of the opportunity.
10 countries were represented at the competition, and Jackson says it was interesting being exposed to the wide variety of calypso.
Everybody had their own flair of that same, genre, and it was very interesting to hear that. And they're great voices, and these are people who have won 4 times and 5 times and so forth, and not only in the Calypso Queen competition like I did in Dominica, but I'm talking about the Monarch, where it's among the men as well. So these ladies have really done fantastic in their field, and it was really just amazing to be in their midst, and there was so much to learn from. I mean, everybody had the similar circumstances in terms of the tough situations, but everybody pulled through, and they just made sure that they represented for their country.
The female calypsonian believes greater efforts should be placed into sourcing regional competitions for local calypsonians, as the country is strong in this genre of music.
I'm just trying to figure out, why can't we source out those avenues, just as the other countries have, for our calypsonians to go abroad? Even when I was going into this competition in Nevis, nobody knew. No one knew about it, but I'm still grateful for the Dominica Festivals Committee, who actually funded my ticket, and I want to say thank you for that. But at the end of the day, it was taken upon our own, as in my father, to make the public know what was actually going on, and I don't think that's right. I think if you have somebody from your country going out to represent that country, it should be known, and everybody should jump on board and try to do the best they can to make sure that Dominica gets a fantastic representation.
The first ever Caribbean Calypso Queen competition was won by St. Kitts. Lady Wonder of Trinidad placed second, with Roxy of Anguilla third, and Candy of Montserrat coming in fourth. And wrapping up with an education piece, 15 children have been awarded scholarships as they enter secondary school in September. The scholarships were awarded by the National Cooperative Credit Union. President of the NCCU, Josephine Dublin, says the credit union has been committed to helping children in their academic journey for over 50 years.
The presentation of these 15 scholarships this morning brings our total to date to 60. 58 students attending secondary schools and 2 students attending the Dominica State College. For the 2016-2017 academic year, expenses by our society by way of its scholarship program was in excess of $75,000. We are now in our 7th year of existence, and over the last 6 years, we have spent over $400,000 under our annual scholarship program. Simply put, we are glad to be in a position to make a difference in the lives of our members.
The scholarships cover costs associated with textbooks and school supplies, school fees, uniform and transportation, among others. The recipients of this year's scholarships were Kerrell Joseph, Danisha Noel, Dominique Teet, Joyce Stewart, Rickiana Rule, who was absent, Tussell Rule, Jahim Augustine, Latisha Alexander, Tiquanda Davis, Eric Philogen, Blake Honoré, Donnell Libla, Kersia Alfred, Beatrice Thomas, and Kira Alexis. That's news. We now join Kenny Williams for your sports highlights.
First up in sports, resuming on 47 for 4 in 17 overs, Essex declared on a 185 for the loss of 9 wickets, which resulted in a draw in a 3-day tour match on Thursday. P. Walters was undefeated on 68 and A. Najjar 30. Kemar Roach snatched a decent 5 for 43, while Miguel Cummins took 2 for 43, with 1 each from Jason Holder and Devendra Bishu. In the second innings, West Indies declared on a 135 for 4 in 31 overs. Roston Chase was not out on 50, while Shai Hope added 46. Recapping the scores, West Indies 388 for 8 declared and 135 for 4 declared. Essex 185 for 9 declared. The West Indies' next assignment will be against Kent Cricket Club for another 3-day tour match beginning on Monday, August 7. On the football scene, action resumes in the Dominica Football Association's Under-17 Football League, weather permitting, with 2 games on Friday. At the Lap Lane playing field, East Central will take on Southeast Football Club, while Harlem United and Club Lubia will go head-to-head for the win at the Stock Farm Complex. Matches begin at 3 p.m. And the matches between Esmart Tarish United and Exodus Football Club at Stock Farm Complex and Dublin Football Club versus Ian Douglas Bombers Football Club were called off due to the weather. Sports continues with basketball, where Division I and Premier League action games continues as the 2017 Flow DABA League resumes on Friday, weather permitting. At 7 p.m., we will witness a clash of LA Knights and Pitchless Sports Club Falcons in the Division I category. At 9, the Big Boys will take to the court, featuring E.H. Charles crossover up against defending champions Dr. Mac Prowlers. Both games are carded for the Massac Hardcourt. Moving on to developments in sports, President of Dominica Cricket Association and Vice President of Cricket West Indies, Emmanuel Nanton, says plans are in the pipeline to improve the standard and professional outlook of the grassroots cricketing program here. However, there are a number of requirements that need to be met before this can happen.
From the West Indies point of view, working in collaboration with DCA is to transform or change the way in which we did the grassroots program. And instead of the DCA running the grassroots program, we are looking at doing it with clubs around the island. So we are working with the West Indies Cricket Board to have every club be given assistance for club structure development. So monies will be made available for the clubs, but you must have a qualified cricket coach to coach your club. You must have a number of players, youth players, registered with your club. And your club will be expected to participate in junior cricket tournaments. So your under 9 team will be playing, your under 12 team will be playing, etc., etc. And it will provide you with the gear, with the uniforms, and stipend for your coaches and people like that, to ensure that young people are brought into the clubs from early, to ensure that the future of the clubs will be there.
Meantime, Public Relations Officer at Dominica Cricket Association, Augustine Pascal, says he was pleased with the outcome of the 2017 cricket season, since the new executive did their best to bring back the needed excitement and interest in the sport. His comments at the recently concluded Fort Young Hotel DCA Intermediate Cricket Finals, where Sagicor General Somerset won by 3 wickets over Police Sports Club.
We are very, very pleased. As you know, that has been something that we have been talking about quite a bit. I can talk personally for myself. That's something that has been very dear to my heart. Coming into that new sort of board, as you speak, we thought that the cricket was missing that kind of organization, getting people involved, because for us, cricket was always supposed to be something that everybody participates in. Even if you're not a player, but as a fan, it was always something that we were looking forward to. And today, we feel really satisfied as a board to have so many people around. The atmosphere is very good, as you saw.
He says Dominica has a unique advantage in terms of cricket development, but the answer to producing promising cricketers is through the club structure.
I just learned recently in the 16 territories, Dominica is one of the 4 islands where you have little boys like under 14 playing hardball cricket. One may ask, how comes we playing hardball at that such a tender age and not produce international cricketers? Well, the answer after that, it's got to be the clubs. It's got to be the clubs. The sports division, the system is doing what it can do, but people in the communities, the wider public have to come together and help run a club so that when these young guys finish school, they can come through.
Next up, we can tell you that the first round of the Veterans Crew 40 and Over Masters League is at an advanced stage with 3 teams tied at the top of the competition. Former national player and former head coach of the men's national team, Shane Marshall, is among top scorers in the league. League organizer Albert Titt has the details.
The first round has ended with Saturday Ballers, West Coast Vets, and Jade all have 6 points, and Harlem Vets 0 points. Leading scorers Kelly Peters and Shane Marshall give 4 goals each from the West Coast Vets. Alexis George 3 goals from the Saturday Ballers team, and Edgar Peltier 3 goals from the Jade team. The league continues on the 10th of August.
And on the international cricketing scene, India got off to a good start on day 1 of the second test against Sri Lanka on Thursday, racking up 344 for 3 after 90 overs. C. Pujara piled on a decent 128 not out to India's total and was backed up with another century by A. Rahane with a well-deserved 103 not out. Lokesh Rahul added 57, while India's skipper Virat Kohli was caught on 13 runs. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
And it's over to our friends at the Met Office to hear the latest weather forecast.
Good evening, viewers. Thanks for joining us for this evening weather broadcast. I am your presenter, Malaika Laron. First, taking a look at satellite imagery, and what we see is this area of deep convection associated with a strong tropical wave. Visible satellite imagery show multi-layered clouds, including thunderstorm cells across the central and southern portion of the chain. Radar imagery shows shower activity across the central and southern portion of the island chain. Tonight, the weather is expected to be cloudy to overcast, hazy and breezy with showers, periods of rain, and possible isolated thunderstorm. A flood watch is in effect for Dominica until 6 a.m. tomorrow. Similar conditions are expected tomorrow morning, with a gradual improvement in weather conditions as the day progresses. Sea conditions is expected to be moderate to rough, with waves peaking near 10 feet. A small craft advisory is in effect for above normal seas and high winds. For the next 3 days, expect cloudy skies with showers on Saturday and Sunday. For the rest of the Caribbean, expect thunderstorm activity across the central and southern portion of the island chain. On the international scene, expect partly cloudy skies in New York, Miami, London, and Beijing. High temperatures can be expected in Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:48 a.m. and will set at 6:34 p.m. Please remember we are in the hurricane season. For more information, call the weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit the website at weather.gov.dm. Thanks for viewing and have a pleasant night.
To end the news, the headlines again. Dominica Manufacturers Association eyes August 2018 as date to fully utilize a $15 million loan facility. Lack of development statistics, a major concern for the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and renewed focus and new suggestions for addressing the crime situation on the island. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Idona John Baptist, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you for watching. Be sure to join us tomorrow.